Hello once again, it's Director Doug here, and I have with me in studio Miss Jean and producer Steve. And, you guys have been sending us a lot of questions, and questions about Discovery Mountain in general, about the characters, how we produce the show. And, Steve gets all these questions, and he makes a list, and every once in a while we like to get together and answer them for you so you guys have a better understanding about Discovery Mountain, how it's produced, and what goes into making it behind the scenes. Anyway, so Steve, I know you got a big list. Why don't we get right at it?
Alrighty, so the first question we have is, who is the oddest character in Discovery Mountain?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, we all have a favorite odd character in Discovery Mountain, don't we?
I mean, one comes to mind right away, right?
Yeah, that's Jake, of course.
Yes.
Right. And he's definitely odd because he has an odd cast. Whether you can trust it or not, I'm not sure, but he says you can.
That's right. Yeah. So who else is odd in Discovery Mountain? I love that question. What do you guys think?
I think Steve played a couple of odd characters back in the story of Samuel, I believe it was.
Oh, that's right. In the Bible story.
Yeah, I seem to remember their names being Hophni and Phineas.
And you voiced both of them, didn't you?
Yes.
The brothers.
Yep.
Yeah, those were great Bible characters. Trying to think. So, someone who arrived on the scene kind of as an odd character, but he really grew on me, was Guy Watts. Remember Wyatt's dad? When we first met him, he was in prison and he had that big scheme that he was planning.
That's right. He was a shady character. Yeah.
Right. But he ended up being a good guy once we got to know him. We've had a few odd characters. Oh, there are a couple coming up that our listeners haven't even heard yet, aren't there?
Oh, for season 20. Yes.
Yeah, no spoilers here, but we have a couple fun, odd characters that one that shows up right in Discovery Mountain and one that we meet in another town.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
One or two.
One or two. And then kind of thinking back, we have from season 5, Mr. Orange Hat and
that's right.
Oh, man.
Parker
How do
Dean.
you
Parker
remember
Dean.
these
Parker
things?
Dean,
it was just coming to me while you guys were mentioning like Guy Watts and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, there were some strange ones there.
That's right. Mr. Orange Hat. He's great. Season 5 feels like it was so long ago, but he was fun because we didn't know who he was until the very end.
Yeah, and it feels so long ago because it was so long ago. That's probably 4 years ago now almost, right?
Yes, must have been. Must have been 4 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
So the next question we have is from Hannah, who asks, how many seasons are you going to make?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, we plan to keep on making seasons as long as we can. There's kind of no end in sight.
No, I mean, as long as you guys are listening, we're going to be producing programs for you.
Absolutely. Yep.
And there's plenty of Bible stories left.
Yes, I love it. Just when you think that you've kind of exhausted even a particular story, I can always think of more kind of details in that story. Let's use the example of Daniel in the Lion's Den. We did a whole season on that. And then I can still think of little details that we could have shared in that story. So those can even show up in mini adventures. I mean, it really is endless.
Absolutely. And even besides Bible stories, all of our programs have not featured Bible stories specifically. Remember the one with the female pilots for World War II.
Oh, that's right.
That was we featured a historical story, or the American Revolution, where we featured a historical story as well. That we didn't really base it on a Bible story, but it still had great moral lessons to it.
Yeah, we still exercised our faith together, and
Absolutely.
I love doing that one about the women Air Force service pilots, I think they were called, testing my memory. Yeah, the WASPs.
Yes, WASPs, that's right.
That was really fun, and it would be great to be able to do some more historical series, I agree.
So to answer that question, I mean, there's infinite amount of stories in this world, and we can tap into any of them.
Yep. So the next question we have is Jennifer, who says, I was so excited by Jamie's new adventures in season 15. Will we ever hear more of her? And I always wanted to go to Australia.
well, we kind of planned on maybe doing something with Australia, perhaps even going down there. But then this nasty bug called COVID hit, and that kind of changed all our plans a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. When we were planning season 15, first thinking about it, it aired already after COVID started, if my memory is correct in my timeline. But when we started thinking about that season, we thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we all went there and we took some of our talent with us to Australia and we had a whole series done right there in that country. And of course, those plans may happen, but it'll be a long time in the future. But what's been neat is, really this is kind of fallen on you, Doug, is you've continued to record our Australian actors remotely, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I can still record Kate, who lives down in Australia, and Ruby, and oh my goodness, I forget his name.
Charlie, right?
Ruby and Charlie,
yeah.
the two kids. Mm-hmm. Their family actually moved to the UK. And we did a recording with them after they moved. So fortunately, we are able to record all over the planet. The UK, Australia, all across North America, Canada, and the US. And so we can get to some of these actors, but I don't know, Jean, what are your plans for maybe integrating that storyline in the future?
Yeah, I don't know. And of course, the actor who plays Jamie is my youngest daughter, and she's away at college now, and just kind of getting her back here. And she could record remotely. She's just, now that she's in college, she's so busy all the time. It's just such a challenge. So I would have to say, I think we need to visit Jamie in Australia. We need to hear what happens. I don't know exactly how soon we'll do that. And I need to put my thinking cap on that one.
Yeah, because she was going to volunteer at the thrift shop down there. Right. And there's got to be storylines there.
I know. Yeah, exactly. It would be a fun story to tell. So we'll have to make that happen soon. Maybe this year. It's the beginning of a new year. Maybe that's a good goal for this new year.
One of the challenges we would have going to Australia is we would probably need more Australian actors. So we would need to audition some additional characters because basically any people she would interact with in Australia would sound Australian. So, and we don't quite have that many Australian actors in our pool yet.
That's true.
But so that's one of the challenges we would have, but certainly not insurmountable.
Mm-hmm.
So the next question we have is from Charles Henry. And he says, sometimes it is hard to keep God first. What are some ways I can continue to keep him first?
That's a great question. I really like that one. I would just have to say to Charles Henry that that's something that we all struggle with. I don't know if you guys agree.
Life, for sure.
Yeah. Life just gets busy and we want to spend time with God. We want to grow our faith. And then, things just happen day to day. So I would say things that work for me is just to really intentionally make that time with God by praying and talking to him. I like to start my day that way. But then I also, if I'm just busy doing who knows what, doing the laundry or answering email, I'll talk to God during that time too. And then I like to set aside the very start of my day with my Bible and quiet time at my kitchen table, because otherwise I find it just, the day just disappears with other things. Yeah. And then I think too, for all of us, no matter what age we are, having fellowship with other Christians is something that's been really meaningful for me. How about for you guys?
Yeah, and that's been a bit of a challenge for the past couple of years because of closures and lockdowns and whatever.
Really
and that is definitely something I've missed. Once a week getting together with, all our church family and whatever. Things are starting to open up and we're able to do that a little bit, but it's still restricted. And that's been difficult for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Brianna asks, how can I audition? I'm wondering what exactly I do with the script. Do I read the whole thing or just do some of the voices? So there's a really easy way to do it online, actually. And it's funny because we were talking about expanding our audition pool before COVID happened.
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, well, this would be nice in the event of, not having the time on a normal basis outside of production to do auditions. And so I said, why don't we set up this on the website?
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID happened. And so we've actually been able to pull from the audition page on the Discovery Mountain website.
Yeah, we have.
You can go to discoverymountain.com/audition, and there are scripts that are age appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So some for the younger kids and some for the teens to adults. And you can record yourself on a device. Doesn't matter the quality because it's just kind of a general audition. And you can fill out all the information, upload the clip. And what we typically recommend is you read opposite of someone else, just that there's a nice little flow going, kind of showing the different emotions and different characterizations. But that usually leads to having a bigger pool of actors in case, we need one in between seasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and upcoming season 20, actually, one of those online auditions, actually turned out being a major character. So it does happen.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
what you can expect is, we'll get you audition. We'll, Miss Jean, Steve, and I will all listen to it. And then we kind of file it. So for when Miss Jean, develops new characters, we'll go back through that list of auditions. We'll listen to each one. And if we think someone might be good for that role, we'll contact you guys and do a follow-up audition that's maybe a little more involved to really see what you're capable of and what you sound like, and then we can make a decision from there. But yeah, it's very useful for us to have that pool of talent to take a look at.
Definitely. And I'm pretty sure we pulled at least 2 or 3 from there for season 20.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, just one came to mind.
Yeah.
I think I know the one you have in mind because you just recorded with her. And then there's another one who was a parent.
Oh, yeah.
Who we ended up casting for one of the new adult roles.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we love getting those auditions. So
Yes.
if you have an interest, please just jump on the website and send us your audition file.
And you never know. You may hear from us a year after the fact.
Exactly.
Which
Which
exactly.
did happen.
Yeah.
And just remember, if you're under 18, make sure you have your parents' permission.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Very important.
So the next question we have is from Austin, who asks, when are you going to make a Discovery Mountain camp, and what kind of airplane is Bluebirdie?
Oh, nice. I would love to have a Discovery Mountain camp. How about you guys?
yeah.
We
Totally.
could all go up there
Absolutely.
and go to camp all week and hang out with campers. That would be wonderful. But no plans on that in the near future.
No, like the closest we came was a VBS we did a couple or 3 years ago now, where we were up at Glacier View Ranch,
That's
and
right.
we staged it as Discovery Mountain Camp,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing in reality yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the
not
future.
yet.
It'd be nice.
I know we've had interest of maybe doing Discovery Mountain themed weeks at some camps, but again,
That's right. Mhm.
it's just not happened yet.
Maybe that one's probably more realistic in the near future. I like
Yeah,
that
I would
idea.
think so.
Yeah.
And as far as the airplane, what kind of airplane is Bluebirdie? Well, Bluebirdie is a de Havilland Beaver, and it's a airplane that was manufactured in Canada. They no longer make it, I believe, but it's considered probably one of the best bush planes that was ever made. It can. They produce them on wheels or floats. Bluebirdie happens to be on amphibian floats, which has wheels in the floats. So when Mr. Simon wants to land on a runway, these little wheels pop out of the bottom of the floats. He can land on runways or land on the lake. And if you want to see more detail about the de Havilland Beaver, you should go to the Director Doug area of the website.
Mhm.
Oh, a number of years ago now, we hooked up with someone who owned a de Havilland Beaver and actually shot a whole bunch of video stuff with him, describing the airplane, looking inside, looking at the instrument panel. It's really quite detailed, and you'd get a really good understanding for what the de Havilland Beaver is really like. And he had a beautiful plane, absolutely
Oh,
beautiful
yes.
plane.
Yes. That was so neat to go and get to, I want to say meet that plane, but you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to go up for a flight because he was having some maintenance done on the airplane. But we did get to blast up and down the runway at high speed, which was kind of
We did. And you got some cool sound effects. We recorded.
We did.
And so some of those sound effects have shown up in the program. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Any of the sound effects of Bluebirdie starting up or shutting down, of the throttle being revved up, of the doors opening and closing, of the characters moving around inside the plane, kind of the squeak of the chairs and whatever else. We recorded all of those sound effects on that trip.
Nice.
So it was very useful. And you can also go on the web, on YouTube, or just Google de Havilland Beaver, and you'll get all sorts of pictures and videos on the airplane and some really good information.
Very awesome. So it looks like we have time for one more question. So here we go. Trey asks, can you have Madam Manager be a spy?
Ooh, Madam Manager as a spy. I love that idea. She would need a new spy hat, though, I think, wouldn't she?
She would need a different hat. Yes,
Whole
she would.
outfit for her spyware, her spy gear. That would be really, really fun.
I have a feeling she would still have like a big hat that would be abnormally large for someone trying to sneak around.
Well, she's a spy with style. Come on, Steve.
Right, yeah. Oh, that would be fun. That would be super fun. I really like that suggestion, Trey. I think that could show up in a future storyline.
Well, just to give a little tease, she might show up as a character different than her regular character in a future episode.
Yes, in season 20.
So, Madam Manager playing someone else?
Yeah.
So people will have to keep that in mind during the next season recording.
Yeah, have to listen carefully. So if they are longtime listeners of Discovery Mountain, they will have heard an interview with Natalie Barton, who plays Madam Manager, and that would be a big clue to figuring out this person in season 20.
And by the way, when she was recording this person for season 20, she had a different hat in the studio.
She did. That's
she
right.
had an entire outfit. She had different glasses. She had a wig. She had, it was hilarious just seeing her in there because there was nobody here, but she was talking opposite of George and myself in different booths, and nobody was seeing her, but it was still funny to know that she still dressed up for the role.
She's very dedicated to her work.
Oh, absolutely. She's a method actor. She always dresses like she thinks her character would look.
Yeah, I love it. It's wonderful. Natalie's fantastic to work with.
Mm-hmm.
She is great to work with.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Is that all the questions you have for us this time, Steve?
I think it is.
Okay. All right. Well, it has been fun hearing your questions. Thank you for sending them in, and thanks, Producer Steve, for collecting them. And it's been fun getting a chance to hang out with you in this mini adventure. So look forward to new seasons this coming year. You already heard a lot about season 20. I know that you are going to love it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.